Hello, welcome back to the interface. My name's Alex and this is the brand new BYD Sealion 7. This is BYD's sort of European car first. It was designed for the European market, and it takes a lot of the design inspiration from the BYD Seal Saloon. So the headlight shape here is very similar to that vehicle, and it's a very similar size. Now this one is actually on sale in the UK starting from today, and there's 3 different trim levels to choose from. This one is the top spec Excellence trim with all-wheel drive and over 500 brake horsepower, so it's a real performance monster. Prices start at £46,990 in the UK for the Comfort trim. Next is the Design all-wheel drive at £51,990, and then the one we have here is the Excellence all-wheel drive and is £58,990. The Comfort and Design models come with an 82.5 kWh blade battery, and the Excellence has a super large 91.3 kWh pack and has 312 miles of range. Considering this is the 4-wheel drive version of the Sealion 7, there's a really decent amount of space. It's nearly 60 litres, and you can probably get all the charging cables in there. Most other 4-wheel drive electric SUVs I've seen, they've got a really pathetic amount of space in there, and that's really good. Around the back, we've got this dual spoiler setup, which BYD says helps the aero efficiency of the vehicle. And then quite notably, there's not much on here that is worth mentioning, but we have got the BYD logo back here. Now, other vehicles that are sold in the UK, it did say build your dreams, which did upset a few people. So this is quite nice to have just BYD. The boot space in the Sealion 7 is actually pretty generous. We've got 520 litres in this section here. We've also got this load cover as well. And if you fold these rear seats down, that extends to 1,789. Underneath the false floor, we have a really good amount of space. Really deep section in here, much like a Tesla, and there's a really good amount of space in there. There's also the usual charging cables and granny chargers and things, but those could live in the boot section under there too. For the front interior of the BYD Sealion 7, it's definitely a really premium sort of level of quality in here. Now the Sealion 7 isn't a cheap car by any means, and this is the top spec version, so it's around £58,000, and it feels really worth that money in here, so everything's really good quality. So a lot of the dash is this soft leathery material. A lot of the plastics down here actually feel really good quality too, and yeah, it really does match it. Now, one of the most highlight features of most BYD cars is the central touchscreen, and this has a 15.6-inch touchscreen with support for all the usual Apple CarPlay. It's got BYD's own mapping software in here, but it supports Google Maps layer over the top, and you can control a lot of the vehicle from this touchscreen. Unfortunately, there aren't any physical climate control buttons. That's something BYD don't tend to do, but they have made some improvements to the UX of it. So for example, if you want to adjust the fan speed, you can swipe left to right, and that will do it with 3 fingers. Or if you want to adjust the temperature, you can swipe down with 3 or 4 fingers, and you can get a really good idea of that. Should be a little bit easier to use while driving, especially when compared to most touchscreen systems. You will just have to go down here and do that. So it's definitely a big step up in terms of the usability of the interface. Now down here in the middle is the floating center console. We've got 2 pads down here as well. The one on the left is for wireless phone charging, and this can charge up to 50 watts. So your average iPhone can only charge at 15 watts. So this is definitely a sort of a future-proof feature of the vehicle. On the right-hand side is a pad for NFC, and this vehicle supports a lot of ways of unlocking the vehicle and using it as a key. So we've got a standard key fob, what you get with any vehicle. You can get an NFC card for the car, much like a Tesla, but also you can use your iPhone or Apple Watch as the key as well. So there's an NFC reader on the door mirror, and you can place your card here and get access to the vehicle. It supports Apple Key Pass, or Apple Car Key, sorry, which is their native feature that some manufacturers are supporting, such as Audi, the Hyundai Group, and I think Porsche too. So that's really good to see, and we should only see more brands adopting this feature in the future. We've got 2 interesting cup holders down here. So something the BYD Seal Saloon car had is an adjustable cup holder. So what you can do is lower the cup holder all the way down into the floor there, and put quite a tall bottle in there if you want to, but you can press a button and raise it all the way up for a standard coffee cup, which is really good. Underneath the center console are 2 USB-C ports for charging your devices, as well as a micro SD card slot. We also have a standard 12-volt socket for charging other devices that aren't USB-C. Lastly, for the driver's display, this is about 10 inches in size, and it's weirdly quite low res. A lot of the elements on here don't look as slick as they do on the central section, and it's very similar to the other BYD vehicles they've got before. It's also got a very weird texture on the top. It's almost like the lamination on this gloss black section has been carried over to the screen, and you've got a very strange sort of filter on the top of it. It looks very weird, but other than that, it's pretty standard. You've got support for showing you all the trip computer details, the vehicles in front of you, the cruise control and that sort of stuff there too. On the steering wheel, which is a really nice shape actually and quite good quality, we've got physical buttons for all the stuff on here, and also these stalks for your lights and your wipers. So far the front interior is really good. So for the back seats, we've got a huge amount of space, really good amount of legroom here, and the quality in the back is just as good as the front. The seats are supremely comfortable, really sort of nice soft leather. These ones have got heated seats in the back too, which you can control from down here. We've also got some air vents as well, and then 2 hidden USB-C ports behind this little tiny trap door, which potentially with kids might get damaged or broken, but it seems pretty solid nonetheless. We have also got ISOFIX connectors in the back as well. In the central console, we have got 2 cup holders with not much space to hold them in, but there is a good amount of space there. It's very similar to the Skoda Enyaq, I find. And then there is this tiny weeny, very shallow tray for something you might put in there. Not 100% sure what will go in there, but it is pretty good, and that is magnetically shut. We've also got these quite large sports seats which sit in front of you, and these don't really restrict the view that much out the front window. In some of the vehicles these seats can be quite large, but it doesn't seem too bad in this one. In the ceiling we've also got this ginormous sunroof, which is really nice, and you can get a really good view out onto the sky. And we've got a blind that can be shut as well. I find because this one is so long and stretches the entire length of the vehicle that it's not really affecting the headroom at all. I've got a really good amount of headroom considering this is quite a coupe-esque SUV. I find in other vehicles, because the sunroof covers up about here, you do lose a bit of the headroom there. But overall, the back seats are really good. One of the things I've noticed about driving this car is that even though this has got quite large alloy wheels, the ride quality is really soft. It seems to soak up a lot of the potholes and a lot of the imperfections in the roads we have really well. It's really premium feeling. This one is the top spec Excellence trim, so it has about 520 horsepower, and on an open road it really shoves you in the back of your seat quite well. A 0 to 60 is about 4.5 seconds, although BYD quote that they managed to get a bit less than that in some of their real world testing, which is quite interesting. So it's a really fast car. So I go about 40 miles an hour, so I absolutely floor it, and it really accelerates up to the speed limit, which is 70. So it's really fast. This one also has a massive battery pack. It's around 90 kilowatt hours, and BYD quote over 300 miles of range. Efficiency in the last 50 miles of driving, and bear in mind this car's only done about 500 miles, is 38 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. And what I'll do is put that on screen so you know what that is in miles per kilowatt hour. Visibility is also okay in places. The view out the back window isn't very good really. The rear design of the car is quite sloped. It's quite of a coupe SUV. So it's like a postbox at the back window. So the addition of the rear cameras and all the 360-degree system might be quite helpful in that scenario. And the door cards are really quite high up. In this vehicle you do sit quite low down, well I do anyway, and it has affected the visibility in some certain scenarios. The handling is also okay on this vehicle, so I have noticed it's in town use that the steering is ever so slightly delayed. So turning the wheel, there's a little bit of delay before anything happens. But if you get it up on an open road, it's quite responsive, and because this one is the most powerful version, it is also really fast. But I'll just circle back to what I was saying a minute ago, is that this is a really comfortable car, and it really soaks up a lot of the bumps and imperfections that we have on British roads. So it's a really good car in terms of that aspect. So overall, what do I think about this BYD Sealion 7? Well, it is quite an expensive car, especially in this trim, the Excellence. It's about £58,000, but it definitely feels like it's worth the money from the interior perspective. So everything's really good quality. It's really comfortable to drive, and so far the range seems pretty good really. Obviously I would have to test it on a longer term basis to figure out if it is actually that good to live with and that efficient, but as I said, overall it's actually really good. So that's been a look at the BYD Sealion 7. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Alex, please subscribe to the Interface Cars, and I'll see you again next time.